really until the 1950s that the banjo players got in on playing some of these songs, at least in the style of music that we play. And it wasn't even until the 1960s that guitar players started playing these kind of tunes. You may notice there's a lot of notes in there. And the fiddle players, they had a very easy way to get a lot of notes. They did this with the bow and their fingers went, and they had 4 notes all of a sudden. But if you're using a guitar pick to get those 4 notes, you had to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And as Chet will tell you about that really slows you down, doesn't it, Chet? So we had to find little tricks. And the banjo players kind of roll their fingers, but then the notes end up in different places on the neck. I have to go up here to find notes I should have been able to find down there. So the quest for playing fiddle tunes is an ongoing thing amongst those of us that like bluegrass and old-time music. One thing that happened in these songs, some of them years ago had lyrics to them. A lot of them were just passed down father to son, mother to son. Ralph Stanley's mother taught him about how to play banjo, so it was kind of a tradition where he passed it on. So it was an oral tradition, and the song kind of took twists and turns depending on what each person remembered the song being. But there was he was a middle school, I guess they called it junior high school back in 1938, history teacher, and he noticed that his students were just kind of zoned off when he taught history, so he wanted to make things more interesting. And so he was at the point in the history, American history, where they were going to talk about the Battle of New Orleans. So he decided to write a song, and he put it to the music of a fiddle tune that had already been out there. Now, does anybody know the date that the Battle of New Orleans? It came and went, kind of. It was about a month long, but there was one key date within that. Does anybody know? We got the genius child back here. What date would you think that would be? Well, that was the year, so we narrowed it down to the year, but there's an exact date that's, okay, the 8th of January. And so there's a fiddle tune that was called the 8th of January that people for years didn't know was written, it titled it based off of that, but he knew that, and so he told the whole story of the Battle of New Orleans, and he sang it to this fiddle tune called the 8th of January. I'm sure it's one you'll remember because he had it for 20 years, and finally somebody heard it, a guy named Johnny Horton, and he sang it and became one of the biggest country songs of all time. Well, in 1814 we took a little trip along Curly Jackson down the line of Mississippi. We took a little bacon and we took a little bean and fought the bloody British in the town of New Orleans. Well, we fired our guns and the British kept coming. Wasn't that many, yes, it was a while ago. Fired once more, they began running down Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico. Well, they fired their cannons till the barrel melted down, and we took the alligator and we fought another round. Powdered heads of cannonballs pattered in behind. When we touched the powder up, the gate lost the mind of the fire.